I never thought I'd be the type of person to cut off family financially, but standing in my beautiful new kitchen, watching my sister-in-law Amanda's lip curl in disgust, something inside me finally snapped. "This is quaint," she said, running a manicured finger across my granite countertop. "But no pool? In California? How do you and Michael live like this?" I took a deep breath, reminding myself that Amanda didn't know I could see her monthly bank statements. She had no idea that the $3,000 appearing in her account like clockwork each month came from me, not from her successful investments, as she believed. "We love our new home," I said firmly. At 34, after 15 years of hard work, I'd built my tech consulting company into a multi-million-dollar enterprise. But unlike Amanda and her husband James, Michael and I prefer to live below our means. The schools here are excellent, and Emma loves having a big backyard. Amanda glanced through the window at my daughter playing on her swing set. Poor Emma. The children in our neighborhood all have heated pools and tennis courts. She must feel so deprived. My 7-year-old daughter was anything but deprived. She was kind, well-adjusted, and perfectly happy with her middle-class lifestyle, a fact that drove my status-obsessed sister-in-law crazy. "More lemonade," I offered, gripping the pitcher so tightly my knuckles turned white. We'd invited Amanda and James over to see our new home, hoping they'd be happy for us. I should have known better. "Oh no, I only drink imported mineral water now," Amanda replied with a practiced hair flip. "James says tap water is for poor people." James, my younger brother-in-law, who hadn't held a steady job in 5 years. The same James who came to me in tears 6 years ago when they were about to lose their house, begging for help but swearing me to secrecy. He didn't want Amanda to know they were broke. I'd agreed to help, setting up an anonymous monthly transfer through my company's accounting department. As far as Amanda knew, their lifestyle was funded by James's private consulting work. In reality, he spent his days at the country club while I paid their mortgage, car payments, and country club dues. Speaking of James, where is he? I asked, though I already knew. My banking app had pinged an hour ago when he used the credit card I provided for another round of golf. "Oh, important business meeting," Amanda waved dismissively. "He's working on a huge deal. We're thinking of buying a vacation home in Aspen. You should consider investing in property too, Sarah. Build some actual wealth." I bit back a laugh. The huge deal was probably another pyramid scheme or crypto investment that would never materialize. Still, I kept quiet all these years, not even telling my husband Michael about the arrangement. He knew we helped families sometimes, but had no idea about the monthly payments. "How's the renovation on your master bath going?" I asked, changing the subject. Last month, they charged an extra $20,000 to the emergency credit card I provided for essential expenses. Amanda brightened. "Simply gorgeous. Italian marble, gold fixtures, custom everything. You should see it." Though she glanced around my kitchen again, "You probably couldn't appreciate that level of luxury. This is more your speed." The condescension in her voice made something crack inside me. 6 years of watching them waste my money while looking down their noses at my modest lifestyle. 6 years of their constant judgments and subtle digs. "Actually," I said slowly, "I'd love to see your renovation. Why don't we go over there now?" Amanda's face fell. "Oh, it's not quite ready for visitors. The grout is still drying." "The grout?" "From the work that finished 3 weeks ago." I pulled out my phone, clicking into my banking app. According to the contractor's invoice, everything was completed on the 5th. He did beautiful work, especially the heated floors that cost an extra $5,000. The color drained from Amanda's face. What are you talking about?" "I'm talking about this," I said, turning my phone around and showing her the banking records. And this. I scrolled through payment after payment. Every bill, every renovation, every emergency expense for the past 6 years. "I don't understand," Amanda whispered, sinking into my cheap kitchen chair. "James said his consulting." "James hasn't earned $1 in 5 years, I said flatly. "I'm the one who's been keeping you in that mansion, paying for your cars, your clubs, your vacations, all while you look down on my modest lifestyle. That's impossible. We're wealthy. We have investments." "You have nothing," I corrected her. "Well, had nothing. As of 10 minutes ago, I've canceled all payments and credit cards. You should probably call James at the country club. He'll want to know his membership is about to expire. Amanda's hands started shaking. You can't do this. We have appearances to maintain. What will people think? They'll think you're exactly what you are. People who live beyond their means on someone else's money while treating that someone like dirt. I stood up, smoothing my target sundress. Now, I believe you said our home was too embarrassing to visit. Don't worry, that won't be a problem anymore. I think it's best if you leave. Sarah, please, Amanda's voice cracked. We'll lose everything. No, I said calmly, you'll lose the lie you've been living. Maybe it's time to find out who you are without all the designer labels and marble countertops. As I watched Amanda stumble to her luxury SUV, 3 months overdue for repossession, I felt a weight lift from my shoulders. Through the window, I could see Emma still playing happily on her swing set, completely unaware of the drama unfolding. My phone buzzed. A text from James. Amanda just called hysterical. We need to talk. Yes, I thought, we certainly do. But this time, the conversation would be very different. I spent the next hour pacing my kitchen, waiting for the inevitable fallout. Michael was at work, and I knew I'd have to tell him everything when he got home. How do you explain to your husband that you've been secretly supporting his brother and sister-in-law for 6 years? My phone kept buzzing with increasingly desperate messages from James. Please don't do this to us. We can explain everything. Amanda's crying. You've ruined her. Just give us a few months to figure things out. I ignored them all. Instead, I called my company's accounting department and my lawyer, making sure every financial tie to James and Amanda was severed. No more mysterious deposits, no more credit cards, no more paying their bills. At 6 p.m., my doorbell rang. James stood there, still in his golf clothes, his face red and sweaty. Behind him, I could see his Porsche parked quickly in my driveway, the same Porsche I'd been making payments on for 3 years. We need to talk, he said, trying to step inside. I blocked the doorway. Emma's doing homework. We can talk on the patio. He followed me to the backyard, his expensive shoes clicking on my embarrassingly basic concrete path, the same path Amanda had once suggested we replace with imported Italian stone. Sarah, you have to understand, James started, his voice trembling. We never meant for it to go this far. It was just supposed to be temporary help until I got back on my feet. That was 6 years ago, I replied coldly. You haven't even looked for a job in 5 years, James. Instead, you've been playing golf while I paid your bills, and your wife has been insulting my home, my lifestyle, and my choices. Amanda didn't know, he protested. I never told her where the money came from. I was protecting her. No, I cut and you were lying to her. And I enabled that lie because I felt sorry for you. But watching her today, looking down on my quaint home while living off my money, I'm done. James sank into one of my patio chairs, the ones Amanda had called tragically suburban during her last visit. What do you want me to do? We can't afford our life without your help. The mortgage alone is $8,000 a month. That's not my problem anymore, I said firmly. You're both adults, figure it out. But the country club dues are due next week, and Amanda's planning a charity gala at our house next month. We have a reputation to maintain. I laughed bitterly, a reputation built on my money. Maybe it's time for some honesty, James. Tell Amanda the truth. Get a job, sell the house, live within your actual means. She'll leave me, he whispered, and for the first time, I saw real fear in his eyes. Amanda married me because she thought I was successful. If she finds out I've been lying all this time, then she never really loved you, I said, feeling an unexpected pang of pity. And that's something you need to face. Just then, I heard Michael's car pulling into the driveway. James jumped up, panic on his face. Please, Sarah, don't tell him. I'll do anything. No more secrets, I said firmly. No more lies. Michael rounded the corner into the backyard, stopping short when he saw his brother. James, what's going on? I took a deep breath. Honey, we need to talk. All of us. The next hour was brutal. I showed Michael everything, the banking records, the credit card statements, the monthly transfers. His face grew darker with each revelation. 6 years, he finally said, his voice tight with anger. You've been supporting them for 6 years while they treated us like we were beneath them. I'm sorry, James mumbled, staring at his $900 golf shoes. Things got out of control. Out of control? Michael stood up, his hands clenched. You let your wife ridicule my family while secretly taking our money. You let her make Sarah feel small in her own home. Get out. Michael, please. Out. Michael roared. And take that car my wife apparently paid for with you. We watched in silence as James slumped to his Porsche and drove away. Through the window, I could see Emma at the kitchen table, still focused on her homework, unaware of how her family had just imploded. I should have told you, I said quietly. I'm sorry. Michael was quiet for a long moment. You were trying to help. That's who you are, always helping others, even when they don't deserve it. He took my hand. But no more secrets, okay? And no more supporting my deadbeat brother. I squeezed his hand back. No more secrets, and definitely no more supporting their fake lifestyle. My phone buzzed again. Amanda. I declined the call and blocked her number. Whatever drama was unfolding at their mansion tonight, it wasn't my problem anymore. I had my own family to focus on. You know what? Michael said, looking around our backyard. I love our home exactly as it is. No pool needed. I smiled, feeling lighter than I had in years. Me too, though Emma might appreciate a sprinkler to run through this summer. Now that's an investment I can get behind, he laughed, pulling me close. As we headed inside to start dinner, I glanced at my phone one last time. 17 missed calls, 32 text messages, 4 emails, all from James and Amanda. I deleted them all without reading. Their financial fantasy was over. It was time for them to face reality. The next month was exactly the chaos I'd expected. James and Amanda's carefully constructed facade crumbled spectacularly, and the fallout rippled through our entire family circle. First, the country club revoked their membership over unpaid dues. Then their Porsche and Mercedes disappeared from the driveway, repossessed. The charity gala Amanda had been planning was hastily canceled, leading to a flurry of gossip in their social circle. Did you hear what happened at their house yesterday? My friend Kate, who lived in their neighborhood, called to tell me. Amanda was screaming at the pool maintenance company in her driveway. Apparently, they've gone 6 weeks without paying any bills. I felt a twinge of guilt, quickly suppressed by the memory of Amanda's sneer at my quaint kitchen. How unfortunate, I said neutrally. The weird thing is, Kate continued, nobody can figure out what happened. They were throwing money around for years, and suddenly, poof, everything's falling apart. Within 3 weeks, a for sale sign appeared in front of their mansion. The listing price was astronomical, but I knew they were desperate. They owed more on the mortgage than the house was worth, thanks to multiple home equity loans I'd helped them secure. My mother-in-law called me in tears. Sarah, please, can't you help them? They're family. No, Mom, I said firmly. They made their choices. Besides, have they even told you the truth about what happened? Silence on the line. Of course they hadn't. One morning, I arrived at my office to find Amanda waiting in the lobby. She'd lost weight, and her designer outfit looked wrinkled and worn. The receptionist gave me a concerned look. She'd obviously been there a while. 5 minutes, I said, leading her to my office. That's all you get. Sarah, please, she began as soon as the door closed. We're desperate. James finally told me everything, about the money, the lies, all of it. I had no idea. Really? I interrupted. You never wondered where the money came from? Never questioned how James could afford your lifestyle without actually working? She flushed. I thought he said he had investments, clients. You believed what you wanted to believe, I corrected, because the truth wasn't glamorous enough. I'm sorry, she whispered, tears spilling down her cheeks. I was horrible to you. The things I said about your home, your lifestyle. I was just so insecure, always trying to prove I was better than everyone else. And all along, you were the one keeping us afloat. I handed her a tissue but didn't soften. Where's James? At a job interview, she said, dabbing her eyes. His first in 5 years. It's for a sales position at a car dealership. Not exactly the executive role he used to have. But it's honest work, I finished. That's more important than status. Amanda nodded miserably. We're selling everything. The house, my jewelry, my designer bags. We have to rent a small apartment, and I got a job as a receptionist at a dental office. She said it like she was confessing to a crime. Good, I said firmly. That's exactly what you should be doing. So why are you here? She twisted the tissue in her hands. The department needs first and last month's rent. We don't have it, could you? No, I cut her off. I won't give you any more money. Ever. But I will give you some advice. Stop trying to be rich and start trying to be happy. It's a much better investment. She stood up slowly, understanding this was really the end. At my office door, she turned back. Your house, it's actually beautiful. The way Emma plays in that backyard, how you and Michael are so happy there. I see it now. Goodbye, Amanda, I said quietly. That evening, I told Michael about Amanda's visit while we watched Emma running through the sprinkler in our backyard, her laughter echoing across our modest property. James called me too, he admitted. He's finally facing reality. Said he's been too proud to work a normal job, too ashamed to admit he needed help. And now? Now he's got nothing left to lose. Michael smiled sadly. Maybe that's exactly what they needed. 6 months later, we heard through family that James and Amanda had moved to a small apartment across town. He was selling cars, she was still at the dental office, and they were slowly learning to live within their means. They didn't try to contact us anymore, and that was fine. Last week, Emma asked if we could get a pool installed in our backyard. I looked at our daughter, remembering Amanda's sneering comments about our pool-less existence. Actually, I said, I think our sprinkler is perfect just the way it is. Emma beamed. Me too. Plus, this way I have room for my soccer practice. I watched her run off to play, realizing that sometimes the best lessons come from the worst situations. My daughter was growing up understanding that happiness doesn't come from status or possessions, but from being content with what you have and who you are. As for me, I've never been more grateful for our quaint home, our modest lifestyle, and the authentic happiness we've built here. No pool required.